All right, welcome to the Franchise Time Machine. Smiley Face Jane, I see you are already in the chat and have already redeemed the new point redemption for subscribers only. Thank you for redeeming some points. And let me put the menu up. Here are the games or you can play Create a Roster again. That's also a choice. Tonight I'm playing Force 4 Trades. That's also the one we talked about the other day. All right. Smiley Face Jane is going to do Force 4 Trades of the 62 Mets. Um, what is a good day coming up that you're pretty sure you'll be in the stream? So Clay Dog is set to do a creator roster, but hasn't picked a day yet. And tomorrow would work for you. Tomorrow, I think, would work for me as well. So let's put you on there for tomorrow. I'm excited about this. The 62 Mets. We're gonna have back-to-back Mets teams doing Force 4 trades. And I like the approach you're taking. Initially, I started these with like teams that were just missed out on either the playoffs or the World Series or a championship. I like your approach of taking a terrible team and seeing what you can do with them. Um, I will warn you though, I've done some sims with the 62 Mets over the years. They are a tough team to improve. So any progress you can make, even with four forced trades of any player from 1962 you want, is going to be tough. Um, you just have that many bad players to deal with. But I'm looking forward to seeing what you're able to do. It's oh, you were playing around with it a little last night, see how bad it would be. Yeah. So you know then it's pretty bleak. There's a reason they only won 40 games. And especially like when you take it into the simulation world, even with like some bad teams, there are some players that when you sim them out, they actually end up helping because they get maybe someone who got a partial season can run a full season, or like it takes some of the variability out of some players. But with the 62 Mets, like it's the pickings are pretty slim. But uh, yeah, you found four that you're pretty confident. Wow, at least competing for a pennant. That's great. Yeah, but that kind of gets to the other thing I was gonna say though is in that era there are some superstars that can be a big help. One thing I found looking through 1985, I also considered doing 1984, is there aren't as many superstars in that era of like a Barry Bonds or going further back in time, like a Hank Aaron or Willie Mays. And so that's one of the challenges of playing this game in like the 80s is now there are some years where you'll have like a peak Cal Ripken or a peak Ryan Sandberg. Um, but even then, like none of those years is close to a Bonds or like a Ted Williams peak year. So Slifish J says partly. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's no. That's the other technique to think about is how strategic you want to be by picking off stars from your direct competitors. That's a great. That's definitely something I've considered in the past. When I played, so the first time I played it on stream, or the only time I played on stream was with the '97 Mariners, and that team was so close to being really, really good that I just set the strategic aspects aside and just identified the four holes I wanted to plug and just found the best players I could. Mostly because they they were a playoff team. I just had to get over the hump of winning a World Series. But for a team where I'm like like I'd want to make the playoffs, that's definitely a way to go. Is to take players from your top competitors. Right. So tonight I'm doing. I did, but it was easy because it was just four scrubs basically. Um, I think I'm going to let people trade away from the reserve roster. I traded away from my 20 my primary roster. Um, yeah, I think I'll let people trade away from the reserve. Basically, like you're just getting those players. But for the competitive aspects, like you do have to give them something in return. Um, and in most of these seasons, the teams will have reserves, so they can, bring someone in from their reserves onto their team. The other thing I considered doing to make it more fun was to make past eras have 26-man rosters too, but I decided not to do that. So um, it'll be a 25-man roster. I do really like the flexibility though of having that 26 player of modern baseball. All right, I'm excited, and I'm glad to hear that you've already been doing some research because to me that's the fun part is kind of looking up who you might pick, who's out there, and in your case, like strategically, who do you want to pick from? So tonight we'll be doing this is uh the second time we're doing this on stream. The first time I don't even know if anyone was watching this the time I did that, so this will be new. I've been working on the form actually. Let me put that up. It's very familiar questions. It's the same questions um, we use for create a roster too, I think. Let me put that up here in a second. Because I think these are already pretty fun questions. Um, all right, here's the form for tonight. Force for trades of the 1985 Mets. Again, very different situation than the one Smiley Face Jane is going to tackle. In this case, the 85 Mets almost won 100 games. Unfortunately, they finished second in the NL East behind the 101 win Cardinals. And that was back when you only had two playoff teams per league. So the NL East and the NL West sent teams to the playoffs. So if you were in second place, even if you're a 98 win team, you're out of luck. There's no wild card. Um, so this is more about getting them into the playoffs and winning the World Series a year earlier than happened in real life. As always, please be careful about your capitalization of your OTP ID. That is how you'll get your packs. And actually, it sounds like Ezra might be wrapping up. I wonder if we should wait. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll put the form up and then I'll walk everyone through the form. Um, I can do it again. But anyway, it's the same questions that you're used to seeing. Will this team make the playoffs? Will the team make it to the World Series? Will it win the World Series? Will a player from this team win the Cy Young or MVP award? With the stipulation that I always said it so pitchers cannot win the MVP. So you have two real shots at it. You can get a pitcher or a batter in there. How many regular seasons will this team win? And for reference, the actual record was 98 wins. And then what will be the highest WAR generated by anyone on this team? Oh, you know what? I can't. The way it's framed, you're not actually seeing. Let's see if I can. All right, that might help. Hold on, let me see if I can resize this. Okay. All right, now you can see the last question. What will be the highest WAR generated by anyone on this team? The actual WAR leader was a 1985 Met, Dwight Gooden, with 12.2 WAR. That was the year he went 24-4. Um, had an insane season. His second year in the bigs. I think what's kind of forgotten in the whole excitement over the '86 Mets win the World Series is he was already declining. Now, granted, it's from a super high of 1985, but his numbers were already coming down quite a bit by then. Most of his uh, rate statistics, things like WHIP, hits per nines, all that was already in decline. But this was definitely his peak. All right, so let me turn the form on and then I'll post it in the chat. Now you'll probably want to wait to fill it out until you see who I trade for. Uh, Spyface was looking it up when Coleman had 13-point WAR in the sim to see who last had that many WAR, and Doc actually had 13.3 WAR in total. Oh, he had 1.1 hitting WAR that year. Interesting. That's amazing. That's crazy. The other thing too is I didn't realize this until I started playing Perfect Team. Um, but that different outlets have different WAR calculations. So BREF has a WAR calculation. Um, Fangraphs has a WAR calculation. OOTP has its own WAR calculation. So you'll often find discrepancies if you look up WAR in different places. I did not realize that. I thought it was like ERA or WHIP. I thought there was just like a single definition. Link to form for tonight's 10-pack giveaway. And let me pin that in the chat. All right. But since you're probably going to want to wait to see who I choose, let's start looking at that. Smiley Face Jane also thinks OTP misses some of those old fielding stats and stuff that contribute into WAR when it comes to historical stats. Yeah, could be. Could be. I also feel like the OOTP WAR in general, but I think the OOTP WAR in particular, overweights stolen bases and maybe underweights power a little bit. All right, let's go into the base game. In 1985, which I think is defensive era. Yep. Almost smack dab in the middle of defensive era. We will not need the minor leagues. So my face says, I do know R War is more based on ERA and F War is FIP. That's good. I like FIP as a stat better than ERA. So, Ezra Denny, thank you for the raid. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, Raiders. Um, I did enjoy your seventh inning stretch, Ezra. I saw that play today, so it was fun seeing it again. Um, oh yeah, no worries, Ezra. I since I hadn't gotten, I assumed you weren't going to be playing Create a Roster tonight, so there's no rush. We're playing a different game tonight. We're playing uh a game I call Force Four Trades. This is where we pick any team in baseball history that we want to improve. I usually pick a team that like just missed out on the playoffs or just missed winning the World Series. Smiley Face Jane has redeemed some points to play tomorrow with a really fun approach, which is taking the 62 Mets and trying to improve them. Which I wish I had thought of it first because that's a fun thing to do. So we'll see how Smiley Face Jane does tomorrow. But the premise here is whatever season your team is in, before the season starts, you can force four teams to trade you whatever player you want. And in return, you can send them any piece of garbage player you want to send back. Um, and try to improve your team enough to either win the World Series or try to win more than 40 games in the case of the 1962 Mets. Now that I've been inspired by Smiley Face Jane, when OOTP 26 comes out, I'm definitely playing this game with the White Sox to see if I can improve the White Sox, mostly by adding the 50-50 Shohei Ohtani to the team. So yeah, so we're playing this game. Um, yeah, so there's Ezra, there's no. I was thinking you had mentioned a Sunday, but I was thinking like maybe you might want to do a Tuesday because I think you start earlier and end earlier because you follow TJ on Tuesdays. So then I could start earlier so that you don't have to stay up so late to play. Um, or if you want to do a weekend instead, so you don't have to get up the next day, that's fine too. Okay, yeah, do the form tomorrow and then we'll play Tuesday. The player generation part, I think usually, Smiley Face Jane can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think it usually takes about half an hour. Um, and if I know you're going to turn into a pumpkin, I can minimize the commentary and we can kind of scoot through it as quickly as we can. We only have to make 26 choices, right? Like, so for each tier, oh yeah, here, let me show people in case they don't know what we're talking about. Here are the rules to that game that Ezra is going to be playing with us. So here's how we play Creator Roster. Never minimize the commentary. So the form Ezra was talking about is a Google form that I've created. And for your 26-man roster, you get this many players of each tier. And these tiers are in the game. I didn't decide to call them scrubs. OOTP calls them scrubs. So you get four legends, five each of star, good, average, and bench, and two scrubs. And what the form has to do is assign positions to those roster spots. So your four legend players might be, a shortstop, a center fielder, a catcher, and a starting pitcher. The only limitation is you can only pick five starting pitchers. Otherwise, everyone will pick all starting pitchers and then get the bullpen boost when they move to the bullpen. So to avoid that, five starting pitchers. Everyone else, it's up to you. You can pick, um, 14 center fielders if you want to. You won't have a very good team, but you could do that if you wanted to. And so I'll just start with legend, go all the way through to scrubs, and for each roster spot, let's say your first pick is a legend center fielder. We'll generate five legend level players. There's a player generation engine in the game, and I'll show you their profiles. I'll show you the screen that shows their profiles. Everyone sees the same screen. We don't click into the players or anything. You just have to make your decisions on that screen and just pick which one you want to keep. We delete the other four, and then we move on through the roster until you have 26 players. Um, and then you can choose your strategy. Any of the eight presets, small ball, um, sabermetric, traditional, and after that, the AI takes over and we sim the season. And we have a pack giveaway based on people guessing how your team does. Speaking of pack giveaways, there is a form pinned to the chat. You can guess how my 85 Mets are going to do after I force 4 trades tonight. 7 packs to first place, 3 packs to second place. So, and you don't have to be present. You can fill it out now, and then you can go to sleep, and you will still win packs if you are one of the top 2. So yeah, that's the game Ezra Denny is going to be playing. That's what we've been just chatting about, and looking forward to that. That'll be Tuesday. Tomorrow, um, here's what we're playing tonight: 4-star trades. Tomorrow, Smiley Face Jane, who's in the chat, is going to be playing Force 4 trades with the 1962 Mets. So I'm really looking forward to that as a Mets fan. I know how bad that team was. I've done lots of simulations of that team. And even with forcing 4 trades, it's going to be tough to make the postseason, especially because back then you win the pennant or you're going home. So it's World Series or bust. Uh, but Smiley Face Jane is one of the best OOT minds out there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. So these are all there. You can redeem channel points to play any of these games, create a roster, any of these game night games. Um, I offered to let Ezra play for no channel points because he always very generously raids into us, and uh, those raids should get him so many channel points that he will never have to redeem points to play a game in our stream. All right, so going back to the topic for tonight, we're going to do force 4 trades of the 85 Mets. So the first thing, oh, Nolan, you're close to 12.5K? Perfect. And oh, I created a new point redemption since Smiley Face James is a subscriber. I wanted to reward the subscribers, so I created a discounted redemption for subscribers. And so Smiley Face James took advantage of that tonight and has redeemed points to play tomorrow. Okay. So the first thing let's do, we're going to go into the game and we'll take a look at the 85 Mets roster so you can get a sense of what we're dealing with. We'll call it Force 4 19, we'll call it 85 Mets. Actually, let's call it Force 4 Trades 1985 Mets. Do we need a version number? I don't know. I guess I should put that as me because we're gonna have Smiley Face Jane playing this too. All right, 1985. Um, commissioner mode cannot be fired. We have to be in commissioner mode because we're forcing trades here. And if you haven't forced trades in commissioner mode, not only is it super fun to do, but I'll show you how to do it. Um, if you've ever played base game, I'm sure you've tried to make trades or maybe have successfully made trades. You may have noticed there's a button that you can press to just force a trade to go through. That's what we're going to use today. All right, we're going to take over the Mets. Now, before we get into that, I need to set up, because we're playing in different years, there's no quick start I can use. So, um, is the way you did it by forcing those 4 trades and then trading off so the AI doesn't know. That exactly, Smiley Face Jane. That's correct. Yeah. So we are scouting off, so we get completely accurate scouting. So all this is in a quick start, but because we're doing different years each time, I can't use a quick start. So watch this. Enable owner goals is unchecked, but the owner goals are still going to pop up. I've noticed that recently. It's kind of annoying. Exactly. The infield, other than Keith Hernandez, is quite a mess. And frankly, the only reason they didn't win, they didn't make it to the playoffs, is because the Cardinals were so good that year. The Cardinals won 101 games. Disable player development. Mike Schmidt's going to be a Met. There might be some surprises in there. Now, if it had been 84, I definitely would have taken Ripken and Sandberg. Nolan, it's funny that you mentioned that about taking Ozzie Smith and killing two birds with one stone. Smiley Face Jane actually mentioned the same thing about being strategic about picking, not just to put talent on your team, but to deplete the talent of your opponents, which is great. I'm glad everyone's on the same page here. Let's see. Yeah, 25-man rosters back then. So that limits the fun a little bit, but that's fine. We're going to come back here and disable trading after we're done. That's what Smiley Face Jane was asking about. Oh, that's the only reason you're assuming Schmidt instead of Brett or Boggs? Yeah, good point. I'm a little less worried about the Phillies, but that's a good point. So pitchers cannot win the Cy Young. This is an important one because we like to see how our players are doing mid-season. We're turning off the importance of popularity in the All-Star vote. So with Ozzie Smith, Nolan says you get the GOAT defensive shortstop and you kill a rival. It's almost too perfect. Yes, it is. That is true. There's also John Tudor had a sick 1985 season. I think people forget how good he was that year. Um, that's more where I was leaning for nerfing the Cardinals, who was taking Tudor off their hands. All right, I think we're good here. Yeah. So we want to uncheck these. Retire players according to history and players miss seasons according to history. It shouldn't affect our one season sim, but I always like to do that just in case. Okay, we're gonna lock in and not do auto calc modifiers. This is basically like undoing the totals issue or the normalization. We're getting rid of normalization by doing that. Okay, so other than turning trades back on, um, we should be done. This is so we can get the right emails we need at the end of the season for the postseason awards. And this is so that we don't get interrupted during the sim. Even though the owner will interrupt this, even though we unchecked these, and even though we unchecked owner goals, the owner will still interrupt us. That's been kind of an annoyance. Okay, so let's show you our roster. All right, here's who we have. Now it's a little easier if you go this way. So pitching staff. And oops. Okay. So you have a peak Dwight Gooden. You have an ascending Sid Fernandez. I think people also forget how good Sid Fernandez was um, at his peak. I mean, far from Hall of Fame caliber, but definitely like a great left-handed starting pitcher um, for his day. Rick Aguilera, uh, in '86, he was kind of a fifth starter swing man before he became a great closer with the Twins, and also a very still very raw Ron Darling. You can see Darling Fernandez, like their control 45 and 40, that will improve in '86. And Ed Lynch, who was in the bullpen by '86. So there's talent here, but I think it's undeveloped enough that we want at least one more starter so we can bump Lynch into the bullpen. Two would be great, but having Darling as a fifth starter won't be terrible. The bullpen's also pretty bad. Orozco and McDowell are decent this year. They do really well in '86. But the rest of the bullpen pretty thin. So then on the lineup side, All right, so this is the year they acquired Gary Carter in a trade with the Expos. In '84, Fitzgerald was their catcher, and Fitzpatrick, Oh, shoot, I can't remember now. Anyway, it was a huge upgrade, a catcher. Um, and this is peak Gary Carter, five-star Gary Carter. Keith Hernandez, who was acquired from the Cardinals. Cardinals had given up on him. It was kind of funny. I was watching, there's a great 30 for 30, a four-part 30 for 30 on ESPN about the '86 Mets. And it talks about how much professionalism Keith Hernandez brought to the Mets when he was acquired. But he was jettisoned by the Cardinals because he was so unprofessional. So that gives you an idea of how bad the Mets were. That the guy who is too unprofessional for the Cardinals is like the paragon of professionalism for the Mets. Um, so here's where Wally Backman. This is these are the tough decision when you play a game like Force Four Trades. He's not good, but he's not terrible. Where the big weakness on this team, and it was still a weakness in '86, was left field, shortstop, and third base. George Foster, way past his prime in left field, still has a little bit of pop with 60 power, but definitely a liability. A young Howard Johnson, nowhere near the 30-30 player yet. Um, and even when he was 30-30, he was not a great defensive third baseman. And then Rafael Santana, um, decent in the field, even but not great. Certainly not great enough to offset 200, a low 200s batting average. So to Nolan's earlier comment about the infield, other than Keith Hernandez, there's a lot to be said for that. There's potential to keep Backman. He's not, like I said, he's not terrible. And this team has enough holes that it might be worth keeping him. So places we don't need help are right field with Darryl Strawberry, uh, catcher with Gary Carter, first base Keith Hernandez. I'm actually surprised Mookie Wilson rates out at 4 stars. This is a young Lenny Dykstra coming up. By '86, they're a pretty effective platoon, Dykstra and Wilson. And if I had 5 or 6 picks to make, I'd probably upgrade second base and center field. Well, no, that's not true. I'd still upgrade the pitching staff, but there are still plenty of holes to close here. But I think what I'm going to be looking to do in particular is upgrade shortstop, upgrade third base, upgrade left field. And since I only have 4, I don't think I can upgrade second base. I think I have to add a pitcher. Um, Mostly get Ed Lynch out of the rotation. Yeah, it's crazy. I wish I could easily pull up the '86 ratings because Sid Fernandez never a control master, but I'm surprised he's up 40, just 1 year removed from '86 where he pitched much better. But even now, look, he's got off the chart stuff, right? This is a 20 to 80 scale. He's got 85 stuff, which is kind of impressive. All right, so I'm gonna open up a notepad here. Um, I mean, I can show it, but I'm just gonna be jotting down what we just talked about. So basically, that I think we're gonna upgrade third base, shortstop, left field, and starting pitcher. Those are the 4 things I'm targeting. So normally I do this in BREF, but I thought let's see how the tools in OOTP are. Because there are some decent things. I don't know if you've done this. There's these reports the player ranking reports. And so you can do positional strength by position, I think is the one I want. Oh, no, wait. No, I guess this is right. Yeah, so if I want to, okay, well, look at that. We have the top catcher. I told you it was Pete Gary Carter. Right, so first baseman, right? This is when Mattingly was insane, regularly hitting around 50 doubles before he had his back problems. I think people forget how good Jack Clark was. But here we have Keith Hernandez. We have the number 4 first baseman. For some reason, they have Mike Schmidt here. I thought he was still playing third base in '85. Oh, look at that. He's already down to a 33rd baseman by then. That's a little disappointing. But we don't need a first baseman, so let's move on. Now, if you were to upgrade from Wally Backman, right? Normally, my gut reaction would be Ryan Sandberg, but he's ranked third. Bobby Grich is still number 1 here, which is a little surprising. Um, this was back when like second base was a hole across the majors, and so when like Ryan Sandberg had a great year, it was like unbelievable. Even like if you look at Lou Whitaker's stats, they're not that impressive. So it goes to show you the state of second base that he was like, seemed like a surefire Hall of Famer back in the day because there was just no one else good at second base, offensively at least. So all those kind of factor into me thinking like there's not enough. If Sandberg were having one of his career years like he had in '84, yeah. Oh, you can even see here, '84, he had 314, 19 home runs. Um, like even that, right? That's not by current standards. That's not a huge second baseman season. Um, but back then it was a big deal. So Backman's ninth. I don't think it's worth wasting a trade to upgrade someone from ninth. So third base. This is where I I think George Brett's an awesome major leaguer, and he's still in his peak here. I do get the idea of trying to weaken one of the other teams in the NL East, but especially after seeing kind of how far Schmidt's defense had fallen, I think I'm probably still going to stick with Brett. I had considered Boggs, but one thing we had talked about previously is like OOTP, the game engine does not treat singles hitters whose kind of superpower is contact and avoid K. It just does not treat them well. So just on that alone, I think it's probably worth going with Brett. Uh, Nettles had some awesome seasons, but he's definitely on his decline by now. Yeah, he's 40 at this point. So, um, yeah, so I'm thinking Brett at third base. Let me add that to my notepad. Shortstop. Now, while it is tempting to add Cal Ripken, I think his 85 is not that great. His 84 and 83 were outstanding, but I think his 85. So his averages dip below 300. His OPS is in the low 800s versus high 800s before. Um, yeah, his WAR is 4.8 versus over 7 in the previous 2 years. So, I mean, he's still awesome. He's still Cal Ripken, but he's definitely down from his peak. I was also surprised to see his defensive rating is only a 55. I mean, when you look at the individual ratings, they're pretty good. They're not outstanding, but I'm surprised that they rate out so low. So this is where I think, like Nolan was saying, and partly of the smiley face Jane strategy of, upgrading ourselves while nerfing one of our key opponents. Ozzie Smith might be a choice here. See, compared to Cal's 55, Ozzie's a 75 defense. Gives a little stealing, gives a little base running, decent contact mostly through avoid K. But of course, the defense is the highlight here. In 85, he hits 276 with a 716 war, which by his standards is pretty good. I think the gold standard for him offensively is that 87 year. But this isn't that far off. As far as the other options, I'm not like blown away by any of them. Um, Tony Fernandez was good in that era. He, I think, often hovered around 300 and provided great defense. So definitely more offense, I think, than Ozzy would provide. But actually, when you look at the ratings, it's not that much more. So I am leaning towards Ozzy, especially to nerf the Cardinals, which is always fun to do. But one of the points I was making earlier before the raid was, after this era, you have players that just dominate. Like you could take a Barry Bonds and improve your team, tremendously. And before this era, you have, your Willie Mazes and your Mickey Mantles and just players that can just, like generational players. There's this like weird spot in the 80s where it's like there's just not that many dominant players. Now people have dominant seasons. Um and so like if you're in the right year, you can definitely find a couple of people that can really change things. Um but there're just no like obvious huge um you know season changing players in this era. I will say though, I'm going to take that back though when it comes to left field. Yeah, the good in year is all time. He's already on our team, but there's no 2001 Barry Bonds on here. There's no take your choice of any Willie Mays season in here. And we already have the one who had the generational season. Now I will say for left field, oh, I guess he's listed as center field this year. I was gonna say the one person I do think is generation had a generational season here is Ricky Henderson. Yeah, Nolan, exactly. That's where I was headed with this. That's funny. I think it was the left fielder, but I guess they have him as center field this year. Oh, and he's not rated for left field. Damn it. Because he was going to be my perfect left fielder to replace George Foster. Yeah, that's what I was going to go next to see. So Wilson probably can. I'd be surprised if Dykstra can, though. Oh, man. Mookie's center field only? He's an 80. That's actually kind of impressive. Dykstra's center field only for sure. Another 80 center fielder. We have two 80 center fielders, and Ricky is only rated for center field. What the heck? Now, one thing I can do is I can play Ricky in left and just bite the bullet until he gets enough games in left field where his rating comes up. Man, come on, Yankees. You didn't want to play him in left field at all? Who did the Yankees have in left field that year? No, Ken Griffey Sr. Yeah, I guess Ricky's going to play center field in this outfield. Winfield and right for sure. Okay, all right. Well, that kind of explains it. But you didn't have anyone on your bench that you can stick in center for a few games and let Ricky play left. Didn't you think at all about the future, future baseball simulation, multiple outfield spots? Who backed him up? Oh, Omar Moreno. Yeah, okay. You're not gonna start him. Okay, all right. I can excuse that, I guess. Well, that throws a wrench into my plans. Man, I was all set to just slot him right in left field. So who is the top rated left fielder? Pedro Guerrero? Wow, I'm surprised he's a 70 in left field. That's pretty good. Well, he did have a nice 85. He hit 320 and his OPS was almost 1,000. But man, I was looking forward to having Ricky leading off and playing left field for us. I mean, now that I see Guerrero's a 70 left fielder, I actually don't mind maybe going with him. The other leadoff option is Tim Raines. It's just he's not as exciting or dominant as Ricky. I think people forget too. Look at this string of 300 seasons here. So in 85, 70 steals and 9 caught stealing. That's some pretty good efficiency. 320, 880 OPS, 13 triples. So I think it's a matter of like, do we want to go speed at left field or power at left field? The thing with Ricky was he was going to give us both, but I don't know that I can bite the bullet long enough with Ricky to train him in left field. I mean, by the postseason, it'll be great, but I think that's going to kill us in the early part of the season. Okay, I'm gonna have to call it at some point, but it's Guerrero or Reigns in left field. And then I want another starting pitcher. Man, Ricky. I was all set to have you on the team. That's a bummer. And okay, well, Darryl was the number two right fielder. I'm surprised he's actually that high because he was still so young. But yeah, that's nice. We already got the number two right fielder. Okay, starting pitchers. Dwight Gooden number one, of course. Rick Aguilera top prospect. Um, Bryn Smith. I'm not trading for him. So Oral Hershiser, this is the year she went like 19-3 or something crazy. Um, his whip is decent. I think it's like a 1.1, but his home run suppression is insane. But here's the other play to further nerf the Cardinals. We could take John Tudor. Tudor had I think a close to sub 2 ERA that year. 85. Oh, he did have a sub 2 ERA, 1.93 ERA. Somehow managed to lose 8 games with a sub 2 ERA. Check this out. 205 innings pitched, 209 hits allowed, 0.94 whip. So not only will we get a sub 2 ERA, and it's not era based because his ERA plus is 206. So it's him, it's not the era. It's not the ERA era. Um, and that whip is crazy good. So it's either him or uh, Hershiser, also great that year. Hershiser in 85, 19 and 3, 2.03 ERA, 1.03 whip. ERA plus of 195. I think I got to go with the double whammy of, well, so here's the other thing though, is is it also worth nerfing the Dodgers in case we face them in the playoffs? Right? Because the Dodgers win the NL West that year. So how far ahead do we plan? We're already taking Ozzie Smith from the Cardinals, so we're nerfing them for sure. Do we? I mean, we're pretty much going to clinch the NL East coming out of the gates if we take Tudor away too. But if we think ahead, taking Hershiser would then probably take out the Dodgers. Although Tudor's a lefty, Hershiser's a righty. Guerrero and Oral, Tudor and Ozzy, George Brett. Well, I think I'm definitely going Brett. Um, well, let me see my staff if I want a righty or a lefty. Oh, I'm still on the Yankees. Mets. So we'd be bumping Lynch. If we get Tudor, we'd have three righties and two lefties, which I would kind of like. If we go Hershiser, then Fernandez is still our only lefty. I mean, I don't think I can go wrong with either Tudor or Hershiser this season. Oh, that reminds me. The other thing. Oh no, we turned player development off. It's the player randomness thing I wanted to turn way down to. I don't know. Am I getting too far ahead of myself to think about nerfing the NL West likely pennant winners? Where is Tudor, by the way? Oh, there he is. 11th. By the way, here's Bobby Ojeda, who was actually added to the Mets in '86, still with the Red Sox. Saberhagen had a good year that year too, but it wasn't. I think like Hershiser and Tudor seasons were like next level. They were like a tier above. All right, 20 and 6, 2.87 ERA, 1.06 WHIP. I don't know. The more I look at this, the more I think I want to go with Tudor. Why is he ranked 11th though? Oh, he's ranked 11th coming into the season, I guess. How's Nolan Ryan that year? That 45 control, 10 and 12, 3.80 ERA, 1.29 WHIP. He's even kind of historically low on his strikeouts per nine that year too, so easy to pass on that. Um, All right, Tudor or Hershiser. Okay, here's what we have so far. I think we're pretty close to having decisions. I don't know if this is getting you guys close enough to be able to fill out your forms, but here is. Oh man, my laptop's already laggy. I did a reboot before I started and it's already laggy. All right, so here's who I'm thinking about taking or trading for. George Brett, Ozzie Smith, either Guerrero or Reigns, and either Tudor or Hershiser. I mean, one thing I guess to look at is like, do I have any kind of speed? I mean, Mookie Wilson and Dykstra have some speed. Yeah, 80 stealing from Dykstra, 75 stealing from Wilson. Oh, I forgot Darryl could steal too. 70 from Darryl, 70 from Backman. And it would be nice to have another right-handed power bat because we've got two good lefty hitters in Hernandez and Strawberry. But from the right side of the plate, all we really have is Carter. Foster's washed. Okay, thinking righty lefty and thinking ahead to the NLCS, I'm thinking Guerrero Tudor. What do y'all think of that? I like Tudor for having two lefties in the rotation. All right, Smiley Face Jane likes it. If Ricky were available, I'd take Ricky over both Guerrero and Reigns. But since he's not a left fielder this season, man, I can't believe he didn't play left field for the Yankees. What a bummer. And I'm actually Guerrero being a 70 in left field. I'm shocked that he's that highly rated on defense in left field. That makes it easier to take him. Okay. So, for those of you filling out your forms, this is who I'm going with. Um, I'm going to go with Guerrero and Tudor. This will be Force for Trades 1985 Mets. Okay. I'm also going to paste all of like our award voting results and stuff in here too. All right, so let's make these trades. Who do I have to trade away? I'm going to take him from my reserve roster. Oh, future A's GM Billy Bean, the highly touted five-tool prospect who turned out to do nothing. We'll send Billy Bean for somebody. Uh, wow, Doug Sis and Calvin Schrawley. Calvin Schrawley, by the way, who uh, ends up on the Red Sox in '86, and frankly helps the Mets win the World Series as a Red Sox. Um, I might have to ship him off too. Okay, it's all going to be reserve players. Just don't trade Gardenhire. All right, so let's do this. Let's make a trade. All right. MLB, Kansas City Royals. And I would like to inquire about the availability of George Brett. Now, just to see what they would have wanted, let's see what they wanted. Oh, interesting. They would have taken Dykstra for Brett. Makes sense. Dykstra has high potential. He's also still got 6 years of team control ahead of him, whereas Brett's probably making a pretty good chunk of change, right? Where's his salary information? Oh, did I turn finances off? I don't think I turned finances off. That's weird. Anyway, I'm surprised they would take Dykstra for Brett straight up. Let's see. Let's just double check we're getting here. Make sure we're not trading for a pig in a poke. I'm surprised his defensive rating is so low, but otherwise, extreme pull hitter, line drive hitter. Exactly what I expect. I'm surprised his stealing ability is so high. Um, again, this is just being a crafty base runner, right? His speed's a 55, but his stealing's a 70. Let's see how he actually does in 85. He hits 335, 1022 OPS, 30 bombs for a line drive hitter. That's a heck of a power season. 9 steals, one caught stealing, 7.6 WAR. All right. Well, you know what? I do appreciate that you would take Dykstra head up, but how would you feel about something I had a scrubby third baseman to trade them? How about John Christensen? You cannot be serious. Okay, what would I have to add? Oh, still Lenny Dykstra. Oh, or Dwight Gooden. Oh, you would do that if I added Dwight Gooden? All right. How about we just. Hey, why is it not letting me. Am I not in commissioner mode anymore? What happened? Oh, wait, it's under here, I think. Oh, it's in a different spot in the trade. Oh, yeah, because I'm still in commissioner mode. It used to be right here, right? Where's the forced trade? Never mind. And then for oh, I see. Oh, there. Okay, thank you, thank you. It's been a while since I did this. Okay, so this is where you can do force trade if you're in commissioner mode. So let's ship it. Oh, and we traded for an all-star. That's an achievement. Thanks, Smiley Face Jane. All right, so now he should appear. There he is, George Brett, on our reserve roster. All right, let's get our shortstop now. Oh, hello, Cardinals. 3 games ahead of us in the NL East. Kept us out of the playoffs. Oh, we're gonna trade for both Tudor and Ozzie Smith. Let's discuss a package deal here. I'm actually curious, just for Ozzy, what would it take? What would it take just for Ozzy? Dykstra or Gooden? Okay. Well, what if I let you throw in John Tudor? No one. I have no one who would make it work. What if I give you 5-tool phenom Billy Bean? Please get back to me when you have a serious offer. No one would make this deal work. Well, I'm asking you for 2 players, so I will give you 2 players. This makes you this makes you want to do an E5 mid state and just trade Dykstra away immediately. Apparently, he has a lot of trade value in this game. How about oh, so many bad pitchers to choose from here. Doug Sisk does have one of the worst seasons in baseball history as a pitcher for the Mets. But how about Randy Neiman? Let's dump Randy Neiman. Or how about Bruce Bereni? How is that combo? How's that work for you? We have no players to make this deal work. I think that's not right, though. I think it is going to work. All right. We have our shortstop and our starting pitcher, and then we have to get our left fielder. Pedro. What would it take to get Pedro Guerrero? Dykstra, Gooden, or Strawberry? How about Terry Blocker? Or how about 41-year-old Rusty Staub? No, I want to keep him for sentimental reasons. How about Terry Blocker? I'm wasting your time with such an offer. I still have to throw in Dykstra, Gooden, or Strawberry to make it work. I think we'll do it straight up. Okay. We have our 4 players now. And all right, let's see. I think I could probably just do a straight. You were gonna, Nolan was gonna protest if I dump stop. Yeah, I couldn't do that. I want to keep Danny Heap because he's a left-handed bat. So I think it is going to be Foster straight up. Let's see what I'm dumping if I dump Foster here. He does hit 21 home runs that year. 263, 792 OPS. 50 defense. No secondary attributes here. But I think I need to keep a left-handed bat in Danny Heap. Chapman's probably my backup second baseman, right? Let's see. Oh, Gardenhire can back up both spots. That's good to know. Um, Nolan, Nolan remembers. I think it was 97, but yeah, you were watching that. That was back before I think I had packs to give away. Even I don't even know if I had drops back then. Um, I hate dropping 21 home runs, but I think it's Foster. Yeah, I am pretty sure that was before I was an affiliate. Yeah, Nolan's been a supporter way before I even had packs drops to give away. Well, I don't think we're going to go six outfielders, so I guess I am going to drop George Foster for. Well, actually, let me do the others first, maybe. Yeah, I do, Jane. I have. That's a good question. Let me show you what I have for that. It's called peak performances. Any five players in your roster, you can change their year. So you can turn any five of your players into basically like the peak versions of themselves. So the way it goes is basically like two players, three players, four players, five players, and six players. That's kind of how this came to me. Peak Foster and Staub, though, that's true. Oh yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. That's true. I think Dykstra's pretty good. Peak Howard Johnson's not bad. Um, so I think for shortstop we're just going to dump Santana, right? He's a single position player. We've got Gardenhire and um, Chapman giving us some position flexibility off the bench. Chapman plays. Oh, Chapman's second base only, but I think Santana's gone because Santana is shortstop only. Yeah. So Santana's going to the reserve, and Ozzie Smith is coming over. Instant upgrade. And then George Brett. I think rather than Howard Johnson, I think it's Ray Knight who gets cut. Because Howard Johnson, he's a switch hitter. 55 power. Yeah, Johnson's got better contact and BABIP, better gap power and home run power. He's only behind and avoid K. And Johnson plays more positions and plays them better, except first base, which I'm not that worried about. And he plays much better shortstop. So yeah, we're gonna cut Ray Knight. Hey D Block, how's it going? We're playing Force 4 Trades, which is a game I've been playing a long time in OOTP and started playing in stream earlier this year. Smiley Face Jane is going to play the same game tomorrow with the 1962 Mets. All right, so George Brett's on the team for Ray Knight. John Tudor is probably going to be, well, let's see. What's the, okay, I have three lefties. I could probably drop one of them. Well, Ed Lynch is going to be dropping into the pen. So maybe that means drop a righty. Who's got the lowest control? Joe Sambito. I think I can get by with two lefties in the pen. The other option is Wes Gardner. If I want to cut a righty, to cut Gardner, Lynch takes his place in the pen. And then that keeps the righty lefty balance. Maybe that's the way to go. Maybe we'll cut Gardner. We'll cut Gardner. We'll add Tudor. I'm curious to see what the AI would do here. Yeah, exactly. Sends Lynch to the bullpen. Perfect. Good and Tudor. What a 1-2 combo in the rotation. All right. And then for left field, again, we don't have a lot of lefty bats, so I'm going to keep Heap. I don't know that we need a backup second baseman, though, do we? See, Chapman's completely extraneous here because Gardenhire's backing up second and short. And Chapman's just a hole in. Oh, well, so is Gardenhire, but at least Gardenhire plays two positions. Three positions, actually. He's backing up a third, too. I think it's Chapman. Then I can keep Foster's bat on the bench because the 60 power's the fourth best on this team still. Okay, let's do that. The only reason I can do this is because there's no injuries. I don't have to worry about infield depth. Gardenhire's plenty. If injuries were a thing, I would keep Chapman probably. But now the curious thing is, what will the AI do with this lineup? What? It's leading off Strawberry? Okay, I did say I was going to let the AI make all the decisions. But normally what I would do is I would move Dykstra into leadoff. I would move. Ozzie Smith is hitting sixth. Yeah, this is not the lineup I would have created, but I said I would let the AI take over. So, and Smiley Face Jane's going to face the same thing. We're allowed to. I mean, here's what I'll do. I'll reset it when I finish, but here's what I would probably normally do. I do get to choose strategy. Yes, I would go Dykstra here. I would go this version of Ozzy. I think can actually go second. I'd go Hernandez. I'd go Guerrero. I'd go. Ooh. Oh wait. Okay, I'm bumping Star. Uh. Oh, this is interesting. I've got too many bats here. Would I go? Huh. Would I do something like this? I mean, I don't know that I want to go three lefties in a row and do that. Where I could actually steal bases, I could actually go that. You might bat Ozzy ninth. Oh, and we have moved the pitcher to eighth. But this Ozzy can actually handle the bat. The 85 Ozzy is actually not a complete black hole on offense. What did he actually hit in 85? Yeah, he hit 276 with a 716 OPS. So he's not a complete black hole. Anyway, I will return it to AI control because I said that's what I would do. I'm just surprised Dykstra's hitting seventh. Like you have, he can get on base. He's got decent contact and eye, 60-60, and he's got 80 steal, and he's batting seventh. All right. Anyway, I said this is how I do it, so this is how I'll do it. I think we're ready to. Oh, I have to turn trades off now. I almost forgot to do that. Trades are now off. After I've raided other teams' rosters, I'm now turning off trades. All right, let's see how the pack giveaway form is doing. I think you have enough information now. So why don't we do this? I turn the trading off, so I think we're ready to sim. Did I set the rotation too? Did I have the AI set the rotation? I did, yes. Ooh, I'm not thrilled that Sambito is my setup guy and backup closer. That seems like a bad decision. I definitely have Orozco in there. I don't love that. Man, if I can make two changes, it would be getting Orozco in there instead of Sambito. And it would probably be, well, it would take more than one move to fix that lineup. But if I had one change to make, it would be to get Sambito out of here. If I'd known that, I actually might have traded him away. I'm not psyched about that. All right. Okay, I think other than that, we're ready to go. So, um, let's run ads so we're not interrupted. We'll do our usual. Um, this is a 3-minute warning for anyone working on their pack giveaway form. I'm going to grab some water, take a quick bio break, and then when I come back, we will close the form and we'll look at the responses before we start the sim. All right, I think we're back. T Block, did you like that I took George Brett? I took a Kansas City Royal. Oh, also, I had an idea for a game. I actually proposed playing it uh, with Spore, but I never heard back. This is a long time ago, so I might ask him again. But I could play against any one of you too if you want. So it's like this. Let's say I'm playing against D Block. He gets the Royals, I get the Mets. But I don't pick my roster. I pick D Block's roster. I get to pick the worst Kansas City Royals I can find with, minimum plate appearances and minimum innings. But like I get to pick D Block's roster of the worst Royals. He gets to pick my roster of the worst Mets. And then we play against each other to see who wins. I have to think of a catchy name for it, but um what do you think of that? I think it would be fun to do, but maybe that's just me. Because I one of the most fun string spiteful sliders, that's a good one. I was thinking there's a card game called Screw Your Neighbor, where like you end up trying to like give your worst cards to the people next to you. So it's like I was thinking something along those lines too. But anyway, I thought that because when I was coming up when before I found the easy way to uh turn off modifiers in the game. Right, I don't know if you guys remember, I was trying to come up with like a roster of the worst players to offset like the Babe Ruths, right? So like I was trying to balance things out. I was trying to basically like work around the modifiers instead of turning them off. And that roster build was one of the most fun things I've done in OOTP because everyone kind of knows all the best players and the best seasons. Like I don't think there's much variance there, but there's so many amazing bad seasons that I think those are actually more fun to research. So I don't know. If anyone thinks that sounds like a fun idea, let me know and we can try playing it. And if it works out and turns out to be fun, I'll add it to the list of game night options. Um, Smiley Face Jade, if you want to do Twins versus Mets, I can pick some bad Twins and you can pick some bad Mets and we can play against each other. Let me know. Let me know. Okay. Is anyone still working on their uh, pack giveaway form? Because if you're about to submit it, I will hold off for a second or two, but I'm about to close the form and look at responses. And Nolan says I'd be down, but the Mariners would just be recent bats. Yeah, Nolan, we could do. Why don't we play? Why don't we play? We'll start looking at Mets rosters. I'll start looking at Mariners rosters, and we'll find a night that works for both of us. We actually don't have to. You don't have to actually be there because if you just send me your player names and the years, I can look up the player IDs in the stream and just import the teams and what the I run it. But it'd be more fun if you're in the chat. But it's not like create a roster where you'd have to be there to make decisions or anything. I'm telling you, Doug Sisk. Look up Doug Sisk. You'll want to add him to the Mets roster for sure. He had an atrocious season, um, like historically bad. Okay, so let's. I'm gonna close the form. You pick a non-karaoke night? Yeah, of course, of course. I wouldn't want you to miss karaoke for this. All right, I am closing the form, everybody. Royals meme is Chris Getz. All right, let's create the spreadsheet of the responses, and we'll hide identities till We do the pack giveaway. All right, here are the responses. It looks like we're going to the numerical tiebreakers. Smileyface Jane is looking it up, and Sisk's 1985 season is relevant. The R War and F War discussion from earlier. Oh, okay. His FIP was actually better than 1984, but the BABIP and ERA was so much worse that his R War is horrific. That's interesting. I wonder, is that one of the splittiest R War, F War difference seasons seen? Okay, will this team make the playoffs? Everybody thinks we're going to make the playoffs. I mean, we were only 3 games away from making the playoffs before, and we've completely crippled the Cardinals. So that's not surprising. Will this team make it to the World Series? Everybody thinks so. Yes. Will this team win the World Series? Everybody thinks so. Yes. Will a player from this team win a Cy Young Award or a MVP? Yes. Okay, it's all yeses. So we're gonna have to go to the numerical tiebreakers. Sci-Fi Chan says his F war was still negative, but it was like a 1.3 war difference between R war. Okay, well the numerical tiebreakers we hide till the end, so there's gonna be a little bit of suspense here. No matter what, all 4 of you make it to the numerical tiebreakers. So now this happened the other day too, and everyone was completely wrong, but was still tied. So maybe that'll happen here. I don't know. I do feel good about making the playoffs, though. We'll see what happens. Now, this is 1985, so we don't get our usual two game ramp up period like we do in 2023. So we're going to get a full month, almost a full month here right off the bat. D Block says Jose Guillen in 2009 had negative 2.2 F4 in just 81 games for the Royals. Oh, I forgot to save the game. I probably should have saved the game in case something happens, but 7-1 start, 8-2, 10-2, 12-3. Rookie of the month, Lenny Dykstra. Battle of the month, George Brett. Player of the week, George Brett and George Brett. So the Mets are 14-4. The Cardinals are now 7-12 because we've taken away 2 of their best players. And the Cubs are now second place in the NL East at 12-6. The Padres leading the NL West at 12-7. The White Sox leading a very mediocre AL West at 10-7, and the Yankees 13-5, almost keeping pace with us. And they didn't get four forced trades to work with. Let me go ahead and save this just in case. All right, well, the Phillies are 3-16, worst in the majors, 158 win percentage, and we didn't even take anyone from them. All right, we'll do the month of May now. Brett's leading the league in batting average, hitting over 400. Series champions last place in their division by taking one player. Pitcher of the month, Dwight Gooden. Wow, 36-8. Let's see. Astros are 28-18 in the NL West. The White Sox 26-18 now. And the Yankees 33-11. The Yankees are amazing. They didn't add anyone to their team, and they are almost keeping pace with us. And we added four amazing players to our roster. All right, let's go to the oh, it's still June, so let's do another month. Nine-game winning streak, and 20 scoreless innings by John Tudor, and 25 scoreless innings by Rick Aguilera. Wow. See, I turned owner thing off, and he's still telling us to change our focus. All right, 48-12, 800 win percentage. The friggin' Yankees, 42-17. We're the only two games over 40 wins. The Cardinals are now almost in the cellar after we've taken two of their best players. The Royals are two games out of the cellar after we took George Brett. And the Dodgers, who won the NL West in real life in 1985, are now 6.5 games back because we took away Pedro Guerrero. And the Yankees, we didn't do anything to. They're still playing 700 ball. All right, let's go to the All-Star break. George Brett now under 400, but still leading the majors in batting. Pedro Guerrero, Strawberry, and Carter, top three in home runs. Most popular star, Gary Carter. Quality outings, 12-game quality start streak by John Tudor. All right, one more break to the. We're at 69 wins, good record, but a nice record. But let's see if we can be the first team to 70 at the All Star break, and we are 805 win percentage. Yankees have fallen off a bit; they're at 58-27 now, under 700. Astros leading the NL West, and the Twins leading the AL West. All right, let's see what the All Star selections look like. All right, Gary Carter first at catcher. Keith Hernandez not in the top three. Wally Backman not in the top three at second base. George Brett leading the votes at third base. Uh, Ozzie Smith not in the top three. Interesting. Pedro Guerrero leading in left field. What's he doing here? 308 with 19 bombs at the All Star break. Nice. Actually, let's do the same for the others. Gary Carter, who was already on the team, 302 with 18 bombs, 72 RBI at the All Star break. Mike Schmidt playing first base. He was originally going to be on my shopping list for third base, but he is hitting 257 with 14 bombs. Uh, George Brett hitting 354, 16 home runs, 70 RBI. Pedro Guerrero, 308, 19 home runs. No one in center field, no one in right field. Oh, Darryl Strawberry not getting votes here. Now, I complain about how created and import players never get any all-star love from the AI. You have to remember, Dwight Gooden was originally on this team, so he is neither created nor imported. He is 14-4 with a 2.37 ERA. He better step it up if he's going to meet his original 85 stats. He has to win 10 more games without losing any more. And oh, we didn't grab Oral Hershiser. Maybe we should have. Well, he's definitely off his real 85 pace. He's 10-7 with a 3.31. Remember, he was 19-3 with a 2.03, I think, ERA. And no one in the pen. By the way, unbelievably, Jerry Kuzman's still pitching in 1985. Jesse Orosco, who was originally on our roster, he is getting some All-Star votes, which is interesting because he's bumped to middle relief by the AI. Unless that changed, did it change? Nope, he's still down there. 10 innings pitch. Roger McDowell's racked up 23 saves though. That's impressive with a 1.08 ERA. All right, so let me copy this and paste it into that notepad file. Oh man, my system's getting super slow. I hope we don't crash before we finish. All right, I copied that in. Now let's see who actually got selected to the All-Star game. All right, that's the AL. Also back when the Brewers were still in the AL. Okay, Rick Aguilera got selected 12-4 with a 1.17 whip. Dwight Gooden voted in 14-4, 0.95 whip. John Tudor, 16-2, 0.97 whip. Wow, take that, Cardinals. 16-2. He might have an outside chance at 30 wins. Who else? Who else? Gary Carter voted in. George Brett voted in. Pedro Guerrero voted in. And Darryl Strawberry chosen. All right, they added Strawberry. 20 bombs, 260 batting average. All right, that's pretty good. Good showing by the Mets there. Maybe next time we'll add a question: how many All Stars? All right, let's see if anyone's in the home run challenge. Darryl Strawberry is in it with 21 home runs. Hold on, let me try closing some stuff here, see if that helps. I don't know if that's going to help it. All right, let's do the first round here. Strawberry beats Carlton Fisk 15-12. The others advancing are Mike Young from Baltimore, Gorman Thomas from the Mariners, and Stormy Gorman Thomas representing the Mariners, and Kirk Gibson, still with the Tigers back then, uh, beat Cal Ripken Jr. Mike Young beats Stormy Gorman Thomas, and Darryl Strawberry advances over Kirk Gibson. And Darryl Strawberry wins the home run challenge. Awesome. Screenshot that. Oh, live cards have been updated. I forgot to do selling of live cards. That also means I have to do my live roster updates. I won live silver again yesterday. All right, let's finish today and let's watch the All Star game. One you perfect DeGrom. Yeah, thanks, Face Jane. Yeah, I think when there's no combinators in the mix and it's just about roster building and uh I feel like I can hold my own when it's live DeGrom. Got it. Wait, that's not I didn't want to start the game. I wanted to quick play it. Oh, Dwight Gooden is starting the All-Star game. And the NL wins 12-3. Bill Doran dominates. Doran went 2 for 2 as a pinch hitter with a home run. Ryan Sandberg 1 for 3 with a home run. Nice. The second baseman coming through. Let's see. George Brett started, went 1 for 3. Pedro Guerrero started, went 1 for 3 with a run. Uh, let's see. Oh, Tim Raines, who we didn't take. How's he doing? He's hitting 337. How many stolen bases? 62 steals and 6 caught stealing. I mean, I'm happy with how Pedro's playing though, so that's fine. They're both having good seasons. Strawberry Pinch Hit went 0 for 1, and I think that's it. How did our pitchers do? Gooden started and got rocked. 3 earned runs, 3 hits, and a walk, and 1 strikeout, and a home run. Yeah, he got crushed. Aguilera, 1 inning, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. Tudor, 1 inning, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. So everyone but Gooden did a good job from the Mets. All right, let's finish out the season and let's give away some packs. Let's finish the month of July. We're halfway through the month already. 22 game shutdown streak by Roger McDowell. We are 21 and a half games ahead of the Expos. 80-21. Almost 800 win percentage. Uh, we're the only team over 70 wins, and we have 80. The Yankees are running away with it, though. They're 68-31. They're the only team over 60 wins other than us. All right, the month of August. We have the top 3 home run hitters. George Brett's leading in RBI. 10-game quality start streak by Dwight Gooden. 4-game home run streak by George Brett. 5-game home run streak by Pedro Guerrero. And a 25-game save streak by Roger McDowell. All right, let's finish September. We're already at 100 wins. 119 wins. George Brett scores career run number 1,000. And a 10-game win streak by Sid Fernandez. We have clinched a playoff spot. And so have the Yankees. In the AL West, it's the White Sox and the Twins battling out for a playoff spot. And in the NL, it's the Astros and Dodgers separated by 1 game. I don't want to do day by day now. See what happens in this pennant race here. Astros pull ahead by 2 games, and the White Sox pull ahead to 2.5 games. Uh, Chicago continues to extend their lead to 3.5 games now. Ooh, the Dodgers tighten it up to 1 game. White Sox still 3 games ahead of the Twins. The White Sox magic number's down to 1. They could clinch. And they do. The White Sox have clinched, eliminating the Twins. But the Astros are still only 1 game ahead of the Dodgers with 2 games left to go. Ooh, it is a deadlock tie at 91 and 70 atop the NL West. Who are they playing? Let's check the pennant race. The Dodgers are playing the Reds, and the Astros are playing the Padres. Let's see what happens here. So the Reds beat the Dodgers, and the Padres beat the Astros. Oh, so there's going to have to be a game 163 in the NL. Awesome. It's great when there's a game 163. All right, here it is. Game 163 to decide the NL West. Nolan Ryan for Houston, 19 and 13, going against Bob Welch, 12 and 12 for the Dodgers. And the Astros win 5-0. Nolan Ryan wins player of the game and gets to 20 wins. Nolan Ryan, my favorite pitcher. Uh, Ryan goes 9 innings, one hitter complete game in the NL West clinching game. What a clutch performance. 2 walks and 7 strikeouts. Wow. Down here, he only struck out 227 in 274 and two-thirds innings. Number one performance of the day. Number two performance of the day, Alan Ashby going 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs, a run, and a walk for the Astros. And in the losing effort, Bob Welch gets the number 3 effort of the day. 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. All right, the Astros advance. Now, I will say this Astros team does not have the dominant Mike Scott with the split finger fastball. That doesn't happen until 86. So Scott in 85, still good, but check this out. He goes from 18 and 8 with 137 strikeouts to 86. He learns the split finger fastball, 306 strikeouts. His ERA drops to 2.22, but somehow his record is worse at 18 and 10. All right. The 86 Mike Scott was fearsome. He was just mowing teams down that year. Okay, let's finish the regular season. Pedro Guerrero and George Brett both go 30-30. Wait, it says 3 times. Someone else did it too. Maybe Strawberry. John Tudor wins the ERA crown. John Tudor wins the wins crown. Guerrero wins the home run crown, and George Brett wins the batting championship. Wow, that's quite a lot. Can I expand this window? No. So what did Tudor didn't get the strikeout title. That's what he needed for the triple crown, the pitching triple crown. Yeah, that's a tall order for him. He's not a strikeout pitcher, so he was never going to win the pitching triple crown. But he won the 2 legs he could. All right, let's see how the Mets do here. Mets Astros in game 1. The rotation must not have worked out for Gooden to start game 1. So where are we? When is Gooden going to pitch next? Hmm. Well, he's orange, so he might be able to pitch in a. I don't. We can probably skip Darling and go to Gooden then. We are said it always start highest rated rested, so all right. Well, Tudor's a good opening game starter anyway. And the Mets win 7-2. John Tudor wins player of the game. Wow, it was in doubt until the bottom of the fourth when the Mets scored 5 runs. Strawberry goes 3 for 4 with 4 RBI. Pedro Guerrero goes 2 for 4. Everyone in the lineup got a hit except Ozzie Smith. How is Ozzie doing this season? He's hitting 254. Not bad, not terrible. Definitely off his pace for the actual 1985. Tudor gets player of the game. 9 innings, 2 earned, scatters 6 hits and 2 walks, and gets 8 strikeouts. Nice. Strawberry 3 for 5, a double and a home run, 4 RBIs and a run scored, and George Brett 1 for 3 with a home run. All right, let's see what happens to the AL first. Yankees beat the White Sox 4-3, and we got Sid Fernandez against Bob Nepper in the NL. And the Mets win 2-1 in extras. Bottom of the 11th. How do we walk it off? Clutch 11th inning. What happened? The decisive blow was delivered by Keith Hernandez in the bottom of the 11th. Solo home run by Hernandez. Wow. He only hit 5 all season, but he came through in the clutch. All right, so we're up 2-0 now in the NLCS. Travel day for us. The AL's playing, though. Dennis Rasmussen against Britt Burns. And the Yankees win again, 5-3. All right, AL's on a travel day. We have Dwight Gooden against Nolan Ryan. That's quite a matchup. Probably a lot of strikeouts to look forward to in this one. And the Mets win 5-1. Gooden gets the win and player of the game. Jumped to a 1-0 lead, 2-0 after the third, and just cruised to victory. Gooden went the distance, 9 inning, 3 hitter, 1 earned, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts. All right, let's see what happens the AL game first. The Yankees win 6-5. They're up 3 games to nothing, just like we are. This is a potential series clincher against the Astros. And we sweep the Astros. 6-2 win. Rick Aguilera gets the W. Player of the game, Ozzie Smith. Ozzie Smith, what did you do? 4 for 4 with a triple. An RBI and 3 runs scored by Ozzie Smith. Rick Aguilera went the distance, 9 innings, 2 earned. And Wally Backman goes 2 for 3 with 3 RBI. Wow, the middle infielder's coming through for the Mets. All right, let's see if the Yankees can sweep too. We might have a Subway Series on our hands. Yankees also sweep. Must have let him hit it off the tee, says Smiley Face Jane. Come on, this is not the terrible Ozzie Smith of some seasons. He actually hits this season. All right. We are gonna have a Subway Series. All right, here's the World Series opener. We have John Tudor against Ron Guidry. Two lefties going at it. And the Mets win 3-2 in a pitching duel. We're down 2-1 all the way to the top of the ninth. What happened in that top of the ninth? Look at that win probability graph. Look at this. I kept George Foster on the roster. New York needed the clutch hitting of George Foster to seal the deal. The designated hitter swatted a 2-run home run in the top of the ninth inning to put the Mets on top 3-2. Wow. I'm patting myself on the back there for getting rid of our Chapman at second base so that we keep George Foster on the bench. We brought in Pedro Guerrero, and it pays off in the World Series. 2 for 4, home run, 2 RBI. George Foster. Nice. Very nice. All right, game two. Let's skip ahead to game two here. All right. The rotation's starting to settle back down. Gooden is now pitching second against Dennis Rasmussen. And the Mets win 6-1. 4 runs in the sixth definitely helped put it out of reach. Gooden wins player of the game. Oh, this gets confusing. New York batting line scored. New York batting line scored. And ours starts with Darryl Strawberry, who eventually plays for the Yankees. Theirs starts with Willie Randolph, who plays for and manages the Mets in the future. All right, let's see. Pedro Guerrero goes 4 for 5. George Foster, still productive, goes 1 for 5 with 3 RBI. I'm assuming there's another home run involved. There is. And Gooden goes the distance. 4 hitter, 1 earned, 3 walks, and 1 strikeout. Wow, that's a big difference from his other previous start. 3 walks and 1 strikeout. Ozzie Smith went 2 for 4. Smiley face Jane. D-Buck says self-packs are the best. I always do that when I sack someone in college football 25. I was playing the long game by keeping George Foster. I'm glad it paid off in the World Series. All right, travel day. Travel day to switch boroughs. Everyone's still sleeping in their own beds, but we still have a travel day. That's funny. All right. I mean, I know there's other reasons to put that day in there, partly to give, the team some rest too, but I just think it's funny that it's a travel day. Um, Sid Fernandez against Ed Whitson with his 8.31 postseason ERA. And I jinxed it by making fun of his ERA. I jinxed it and we lost 7-4. They scored 4 runs in the top of the first, and then we scored 3 back, and then they scored 3 in the top of the fifth and just ran away with it. That's what I get for mocking them. All right. I learned my lesson, OOTP. All right. Game four. Mets lead 2-1. See, look, it says New York leads the series 2-1. Some of this stuff needs a little bit of work, OOTP. Didn't they play a doubleheader in 2001 in Yankee Stadium and one in Shea? I don't know that, but that would be funny. That does seem plausible. All right, let's see what happens here. The Mets win in 10 innings. Roger McDowell gets the win in relief. Pedro Guerrero is player of the game. He went 3 for 5 with a double and a home run. Rick Aguilera with the start goes 6 innings. Ooh, 6 hits and 4 walks, 3 earned runs, 2 strikeouts. All right, we're leading now 3 games to 1. Oh, let's see this box score. I want to see who had the winning hit. Clutch at bat came in the bottom of the 10th inning when New York second baseman Wally Backman facing Dave Righetti. Backman is not great against lefties. He was the he was the VR platoon member of the '86 Mets with uh, Tim Teufel being the VL guy. But he does the damage against Righetti with a run scoring sac fly, walk off sac fly. All right, I'm gonna hide scores. I'm gonna do highlights for this potential clinching game. It's John Tudor against Gidry again, lefty versus lefty. Oh, why are you showing me this achievement? I hid scores, damn it. OOTP, come on. Come on, do better. I hid scores for a reason, and you showed me that we're the champions. I'm still gonna zip through the highlights. I want to see what happened here. Man, that's lame that OOTP did that. So lame. Backman against Gidry, runner on third. Ground out, scores the runner. Bottom of the third again. New York versus New York. Fortunately, we know that we are the home team. Gary Carter with Brett on first. Fly ball deep right center field. And it's gone. Gary Carter goes yard. All right, the Yankees score one, but we're jumping ahead to the bottom of the sixth with two outs. Off the wall in center field. That'll be extra bases. Runner scores and the batter trails to third and is in safely. 4-1 now, bottom of the seventh. Strawberry up against Gidry, still in the game. Strawberry hits it to left field. That's not going to carry, is it? It does. It's gone. Lefty versus lefty, and Strawberry goes opposite field. Seems like a stretch, but okay. Len Dykstra up now against Rich Bordy with Ozzie Smith on first. Bottom of the eighth, up 5-1. Line drive into the right field corner. It's going to be extra bases. Might score a runner. Dykstra's in at third, and Smith scores. All right, top of the ninth, two outs, 1-2 count to Don Baylor. Tudor still in the game. Ricky Henderson at first. Ground ball to short. Ozzie. That's it. Mets win the World Series. That's how it happened. Gary Carter 2 for 4 with a home run. John Tudor. Tudor, man, he really delivered after that trade. I'm kind of curious to see. Oh, sometimes they have those trade announcements. I think I had it unchecked. I wonder if we can see. Oh yeah, okay. They do have the trades. Mets and Royals trade players. In a move that has fans in both cities buzzing, the Mets and Royals agreed to a deal. They'll have 24-year-old left fielder John Christensen headed to Kansas City in exchange for 31-year-old third baseman George Brett. Has fans in both cities buzzing is amazing. All right, how about this Cardinals trade? Both sides are said to be pleased with the way the trade worked out. That's amazing. I'm copying that and pasting it into the notepad. That's incredible. We're pleased that we gave away our ace and our best all around player for two scrubs. We're pleased with the way the trade worked out. All right, what did the Dodgers say about giving up Guerrero? Both GMs seemed relieved that the deal had been completed with one stating, "We had to set a deadline to get it done." These are such great BS. I'm saving them all. That's funny. Let me go back and get this one too. Both cities were buzzing. I don't think you would have made it out of Kansas City alive if you would have traded George, says Divock. I think that's probably true, especially for the scrub that we sent them. All right. I'm glad I thought to look back at those. Those are funny. Those are very funny. All right, let's get some postseason awards here. Let me get a screenshot of this. I like having the World Series trophy in the shot there. We lost one game the whole postseason. All right, Great Glove Award. I don't know that we'll have anyone in the running for that. Oh, Ozzie Smith. Maybe Carter. No, season score 1351. Right, now let's go to the mailbox. All right, Great Glove Awards. Oh, I forgot about Keith Hernandez too. Pedro Guerrero won one for left field. And I was surprised he's rated 70. I'm surprised he won a gold glove. I guess I just, in my mind, had underrated Guerrero's defense. There it is. Keith Hernandez, Ozzie Smith, and Pedro Guerrero are gold glove winners. Am I crazy? Does everyone else remember him being like a glove man? I sure don't. All right, Roger McDowell had quite a year. I mean, let's see. I'm going to check his stats so I can be indignant when he gets snubbed. He went 8-5 with 35 saves. This ERA might hurt him. 2.45 ERA, 1.03 WHIP. Well, no announcement, so we did not win it. Dave Smith for the Astros, 0-3, 45 saves, 1.87 ERA. Jeff Reardon came in second, 3-3, 36 saves, 1.91 ERA. He never won a Gold Glove, only Silver Slugger. Okay, so I'm not off to not think of him as a glove man. But yeah, he's rated 70 on defense, and he won a Gold Glove in our sim. Look at this. Roger McDowell didn't even get points. All right, Platinum Sticks, you might win a few of these. We win 4, in fact. Um, Larry Owen at catcher, Keith Hernandez for the Mets at first. Ozzie Smith. Oh no, these are Gold Gloves. Sorry. There you go. Catcher Gary Carter hit 302 with 29 bombs. George Brett 372 D block and 39 home runs, 39 stolen, 32 home runs, 39 stolen bases. Pedro Guerrero 319, 47 bombs and 30 stolen bases. Wow. And Darryl Strawberry 254, 32 bombs, 55 stolen bases. Man, we went running crazy. You know what? I did not choose a strategy either. What is our strategy? I didn't pick one. Oh, look at that. I left it at neutral and they stole a ton of bases. He hit 30 for real, though, in 1985 D block. I know he's a line drive hitter, but he did hit 30 in real life that year. All right, let's copy this for sure. Let's nice string of awards here for the Mets. All right, let's rookie of the year. I think Dykstra's eligible. Oh, Rick Aguilera wins it. Nice. Oh, Dykstra came in second. 21 and 9, 3.21 ERA. Wow. All right, here come the big ones. Cy Young Award. Let's see who our top candidates are. I mean, John Tudor was throwing darts at the end of the year. Tudor went 29 and 3, 1.75 ERA, 0.88 WHIP. Gooden went 24 and 8, 2.34 ERA, 0.97 WHIP. I mean, I think Tudor's got it. Oh, D-Block, I didn't know that. George Brett has the Royals record for home runs. Wow. Okay. I think between Tudor and Gooden, I would give it to Tudor, but who knows what other performances are out there. So let's see what happens. John Tudor wins it. Gooden came in second. Fernandez came in third. Wow. Top three, all Mets. What did Sid Fernandez do? 23 and 5. 241 strikeouts, 2.88 ERA. Wow, El Cid, nice job. Sweeping the top three podium spots. All right. And then MVP. Next is Mike Sweeney. 375 for George. Salvi has 273. Mike Sweeney is next with 197. Wow. George Brett does win the MVP. And look at that. Henderson, who we thought about acquiring but only played center field, he wins the AL MVP. And Mattingly comes in second. Phil Bradley for the Mariners comes in third. While George Brett almost sweeps the first place votes, Pedro Guerrero gets the other. And with Gary Carter coming in fourth, we have three of the top four vote getters. Brett, 32 home runs, 136 RBIs, hitting 372. That is quite a stat line. All right. I think now we know everything we need to do the pack giveaways. Oh, let's take a quick look at stats. All right. Brett leads the majors in batting average. Pedro Guerrero tied for second in the majors in home runs. Look at that, trailing Mike Young of the Orioles, who had 49. Brett second in RBI. Mattingly had an incredible 169. Um, Brett leading in on base percentage. Pedro Guerrero coming in sixth. Brett Guerrero finishing second and third in slugging behind Mattingly. Brett manages to beat Mattingly in OPS though, with Guerrero coming in third. How about pitching? Tudor and Gooden finished 1-2 in ERA, with Sid Fernandez finishing fifth. Tudor with, oh, I said at the All Star break we might have a 30-game winner. Tudor wins 29. 29 and 3. So close to 70. Wow. Gooden second in innings pitched. Gooden and Tudor top two in WAR. McDowell sixth in saves with 35. Gooden threw 23 complete games. That is insane. 8 shutouts, tied with Tudor for first. Gooden leads the league with 254 strikeouts. Sid Fernandez second with 241. Sid Fernandez, third in the league in walks with 134. Tutoring good in first and second in whip. Man, check this out. Dennis Eckersley with a 6.1 strikeout to walk ratio. Tudor with a 2.38 ERA plus. Oh, let's look at achievements. We learned that from P Boom. That was one of his suggestions when we did a sim, and now we. You know what? I mean to do it every time. I've been bad about doing the last few, but let's. Oh, that's not it. League history. There it is. Accomplishments. Several 3 home run games, no 6 hit games, no 15 strikeout games, no cycles. A no hitter by Sid Fernandez. Nice. 8 strikeouts and 2 walks in 9 innings pitched. Don Manning with a 150 plus RBI season. A bunch of 20-win seasons. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them for the Mets. What happened to you, Ron Darling? Where's your 20 wins? 13 and 6, slacker. No triple crowns. Hitting streaks. Bill Doran with 27. Don Manning with 30. All right, let's take a look at the pack giveaway. Let's give away some packs. Let me unhide the Twitch names now. Speaking of P Boom is back in the draw in the pack giveaway. I don't know if P Boom's still in the chat, but welcome back. Good to have you. I know we're pretty late, and he started school back up again, so we haven't seen him lately. All right, so for tiebreaker 1, because everyone thought we would win the World Series and win an MVP or Cy Young, everyone was correct. So the first tiebreaker is how many regular season games will this team win? And here, let me show you. Sorry. All right, so our contestants tonight are Nolan Network Podcast, Smiley Face Jane, P Boom, welcome back into the mix, P Boom, and D Block. All right, so we actually won. The answer here is, come on, stop freezing. 124 games. So the winner, the first tiebreaker is, of course, Smiley Face Jane. So I've noticed this pattern. When Smiley Face Jane wins these numerical tiebreakers, somehow always picking the highest number, because on almost all of these, it's an incredibly high number. And the trick is to guess high enough, but it's hard to do. But Smiley Face Jane consistently seems to do it. So congratulations, Smiley Face Jane. First place tonight, 7 packs headed your way. Well, let's figure out second place now. Second tiebreaker is, what is the highest WAR? The highest WAR is, we gotta look at our team now to figure that out. All right, on the batting side, Pedro Guerrero actually edges out George Brett with a 10.0 WAR. On the pitching side, Gooden beats out Tudor with a 10.8. So I guess on the awards, it does not go just by WAR because Tudor beat out Gooden for the Cy Young Award. So is it 10.8? Yeah, 10.8 is the highest. So Nolan is zero point 0.7 away, and P Boom is 1 away. So that means Nolan gets the second tiebreaker. So first place to Smiley Face Jane, second place to Nolan. Congratulations. I will let Nicolino know tonight, so hopefully you'll have your packs within 24 to 48 hours. Thank you everyone for playing the pack giveaway. I hope you enjoyed watching the another installment of Force 4 Trades. And Smiley Face Jane will be playing this same game tomorrow night with the 1962 Mets. And on Tuesday, Ezra Denny is going to be playing Creator Roster. So we're going games, games, games this week. So come win more packs by guessing how their teams do. All right, let's find someone to raid into tonight. All my usuals are not online tonight. Uh, oh, Midnight Sumo. There is a sumo tournament on right now. Excellent live sumo with English commentary from a guy in Canada. Midnight Sumo. This is awesome. All right, we're raiding into Midnight Sumo. Thank you to Ezra Denny for the raid. Um, as always, very kind to raid into us, and part of the reason why we're letting Ezra play creator roster without redeeming any channel points because he's given us so many raids and viewers over the months I've been streaming. And thanks to all of you for hanging out in chat, giving us a lively chat, for playing the pack giveaway guessing game. And hope you join us again tomorrow for, again, Smiley Face Jane playing Force 4 Trades, and on Tuesday for Ezra Denny playing Creator Roster. And I hope you enjoy Midnight Sumo, one of my favorite streams. Um, you'll hear a lot of Japanese uh, commentary and action from the actual sumo, but they will be explaining things and giving commentary in English over it. So don't worry, you will be able to understand what's going on.